looking like a star that is bright, a star that is glowing. I am in one of my favorite shirts and beating my ribbons as usual. On air or off here, this is what I love to beat. However, today I may be happy, tomorrow I may be sad. Today I may be working quite fine, tomorrow things can go downhill. The reason why I am using these small scenarios is because I want to speak about the Reggae Boys. And there is the fact that they will be playing against Haiti tomorrow in the Nations League. Currently, Reggae Boys are on top of things in Group B, while the Asians are fourth. And based on the league, the Reggae Boys do have a squad and a team that can win the competition. But I want to say there should be limited expectations on the Reggae Boys. Persons could be deciding on doing a preview for the game tomorrow, but I choose to take a twist and to take things from a different angle. And guess what? Before I go into details, Premier 7 would like to have a say on the limited expectations that we should have on the Reggae Boys. So make we see. Wagwan. Kaboom!
Premier 7.
No glass, no shades. Look into my eyes. Tell me what you see. It's another video on Premier 7, and by now you should know my name. I am the host of the show, Ryan Nelson. And the thing is, even though I am here looking all that jolly, my mind isn't that jolly because of the Reggae Boys. And I mentioned earlier on about the limited expectations. That leads to the topic of why should there be limited expectations of Jamaica in winning the Nations League? The Nations League is an organized competition that is played within the Concacaf region by teams that are of high recognition or high profile, and on the other hand, the opposite. It is a competition that I really and truly embrace because it brings about talents that are not seen, talents for which are hidden, giving them the the ground to show their class and to burst their way on that level for which persons can say this is a talent for which must be taken into consideration. And there are several names out there that have been performing and been noticed by way of the Nations League. The Reggae Boys is the team that have a big name in CONCACAF. Apart from Mexico, USA, Canada, even Honduras, the Reggae Boys is well known. And I think it is time to just be honest enough that Jamaica have the potential of winning the Nations League, but there should be no expectations that they will be winning the Nations League. Why? Let me know why, because I know what I'm going to say about this. All right, there should be no expectations because Jamaica is a team for which is inconsistent. Inconsistent in terms of delivering consistent victories. Even if it was consistent 1-0 victories, then we could give and take. But Jamaica playing against teams like even Grenada, yes, they won that game 4-1. But what about Haiti? 2-2. Conceding 2 goals, but scoring 2 goals to, level things off. But there is something about the name Jamaica in CONCACAF that has been on the downward spiral for years. And we have some good talents in the camp. I think it is better now than a couple years ago. And you can let me know what you think about the squad now compared to that of the past. The past can be even in 1998. There are talents in the Jamaican squad, but there are talents elsewhere. For example, Williams, who played for Grenada, who scored against the Reggae Boys. The Grenadian team on a whole looks quite different, and it's like it's a team for which I could say if I am watching football for the first time or the Concacaf Nations League, I would say, but this team better than the Reggae Boys, man, because of how they play. And it boils down to chemistry, it boils down to team selection, it boils down to decision making, and a lot more things to take into consideration. But let's speak about decision making. From a coach's perspective, decision making is important. And do you think that Al Grimson is making the rightful decision when the Reggae Boys are playing? Sometimes, yes, sometimes not. I think there are instances for which Al Grimson should take into consideration playing players who can deliver better for the Reggae Boys. Remember, it is not all about the name that is on paper, it is about the chemistry and the delivery. Tell me, by way of common sense, in order to win a football game, how do you win the game? You have to score the goals or score a goal by preventing the opposition team from scoring. And in that case, speaking about the Reggae Boys, I think Al Grimson should take into consideration being better in terms of team selection. I am going to show you the lineup for the Reggae Boys within a few minutes down the line. But let me speak about what I see and what I don't like from what I like. Where should I start? From what I like. I like the fact that the Reggae Boys are recruiting better talents, and these talents aren't just talents that are known, but they're talents that can deliver. For example, the best player for the Reggae Boys right now, since his arrival, is Demari Gray. If Jamaica did not have Demari Gray to be playing in the squad, then Jamaica could have been out of the Nations League. And that is just factual. Demar Gray is our best player, but he supports the likes of Leon Bailey, who is somewhat struggling, who is a talent that Jamaica have as well. Reed, who plays sometimes in the midfield, or let's say on the right wing. Michael Antonio, Shamar Nicholson, Damian Lowe, and you have other players who are quality. The best player in the Jamaican squad before Demar Gray came is the keeper, Blake. And to me, having a goalkeeper as your best isn't a bad thing, but you would more prefer for your frontline players to be the best. So what I want the coach to think about now is, and it will take some time, what is the best front three to use in games? The game against Grenada, he used a front two of Romario Williams and Nicholson. And I think Romario Williams looks good on the eyes as a striker. But then again, Michael Antonio wasn't available. But I like what I see from that talent in Romario Williams. A talent that I think can lead the front line. And having him playing against opposition teams more often, then it will be better for his career. However, let me have this plugged in. However, there are talents that are on the bench, talents that are in the process of being recruited, and elsewhere locally that needs to be looked on. So I think it's all about the structure as well. I did a video on one of Jamaica's preferred young talents, the best young talent for now, in Dujon Whisper Richards, who haven't played the last game. And I think that was a type of game for which you could give him a run against opposition teams that aren't the best of the best. You build his confidence from that point. Jamaica is looking to recruit like players like Tariq Mitchell, and a lot of persons seems to love this player from Crystal Palace. If all goes well in terms of Mason Greenwood deciding to play for Jamaica, then that's another one in the bag. But bringing in these players and not having a proper system, then that could affect talents that are existing right now. And I'm stressing Dojan, Whisper Richards, and even the local players that are even playing in different competitions. What do you think about the fact that maybe Jamaica needs a stronger recruitment team or a better structure or a stronger coach? Because when I watch other streamers doing their things, it is not satisfying to those who are calling in if there's a calling program available. Boring football is one of the key words that are being utilized. In the last game that Jamaica scored 4 goals to 1 with 400 subscribers. And I want to say thanks to all of you who have been supporting me. There you have it, 400 subscribers. So please go ahead, watch, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're new or if you are already a subscriber. I thank you. So, if Jamaica continues to win the games, then apparently they will win the competition. And the Reggae Boys have moved closer to the quarterfinal based on the fact that they have won against Grenada. And I was impressed with the goals. Williams scored, right? Gray scored, Nichols scored, and the captain at that moment in Bobby Reed scored. I have to give them an applause. I have to applaud the Reggae Boys because it has been a long time they haven't beaten a team by 4 goals to 1 or 4-0, even 3-0, even 2-0. I think the Bob Marley song which is saying One Love is like that is the limit for the Reggae Boys. Is it they win the game 1-0, leading the game 1-0 and losing the game, or they just draw the game 1-all. Something needs to improve. But I'm not going to say get rid of the coach. I would say better structure should be in place. The money is key, infrastructure development is important, but having a proper recruitment in terms of talent is a must because Haiti plays good football, Guatemala plays good football, and Grenada plays good football if to compare with Jamaica. I even won't put Jamaica besides a USA or a Mexico, and that is where we should have been for years now. Now, I want to take into consideration um the formation. And go ahead, guys, please have a like on this video and drop a comment because you can participate. Now, here is something for which I want to show here. This speaks about the formation, courtesy of football formation. This isn't the main formation to me, but it is what is presented. The backline you have Blake, you have Brown, Lowe, Pinnock, and Bell. Remember, we have players who are coming in and we have players who are there already who can play in numerous positions. Bernard is a centre back. Tarek Mitchell is a left back. Lambi Kisa is a right back. In the midfield, I don't like seeing Latibodier. What do you think about him as a talent? Latibodier is good in the eyes of other players, but to me, I think Johnson should be playing beside Palmer. Johnson is more creative and he takes better control of the game in the midfield. The midfield is where you win the game or you lose the game. Palmer is fine for me. In the front four, to me, this isn't the main thing. I think Reed should play here. Well, let Reed stay right here. Bailey here and Gray here. Nicholson here. All right, that is okay then. If that should be the starting 11, then that would be the front four. But Jamaicans would be saying that if Antonio is back, then Antonio leads the line. Maybe even Williams can lead the line depending on the game. But Gray, Reed, and Bailey should be the main behind the striker. But we have qualities in terms of Dujan Whisper, Richards, who can play when Bailey may not be playing at his best, or if Gray is injured, You play Bailey here and you play Whisper here. Because the thing is with Whisper, he's somewhat similar to Mason Greenwood in terms of how we go about in scoring goals, cutting on the inside and shooting and scoring. That is just the basic thing. Do you think that Jamaica have the potential of winning the Nations League, the Concacaf Nations League? To me, as I've mentioned before, there should be limited expectation on this team because for years, Jamaica isn't the team that knows how to win games consistently. Jamaica doesn't know how to win games consistently. And the thing is, the game the last time, they closed off the game quite well, for which I have to applaud them again. Because when Grenada scored, the confidence of the Jamaican team did not fall way down, but they find themselves back into the game to bring about different ways of how to bring about getting a goal. And you saw whereas Bernard threw the ball to I think Demar Gray and he scored, then Reed close off the game. So Jamaica have to learn how to close off the games. Back in the days we have good talents, but we did not win major titles as to how we thought we could have done. And it reminds me of teams like big teams who have good players but do not utilize them properly. Look at Arteta. He's utilizing the likes of his players quite well in a system at Arsenal. Man City with Pep Guardiola is doing quite good. Since the arrival of Angie at Spurs, Spurs is a different team. And I want to pick a point on Spurs. Harry Kane is no longer at Spurs, he's at Bayern Munich. And the thing is, the team plays better now for now, that is Spurs. Not to say that Harry Kane was a problem, but it shows that there's nothing to say now that you're depending on one or two players. And Jamaica should not be depending on Leon Bailey too often because he's injured, as you can see, with the strap on his, I think, on his right foot. Do not rely on a player too often. Even if he's the best player on the pitch, let him play his game, but play in a system that brings about the best out of your players. What do you think about this? I rate Leon Bailey, but I have my time for which I curse when he plays, and I'm not going to take that back because he's a person who must look back on his clips and see where he plays well and play bad. And in order for you to be a good player in any sports or in anything that you do, you have to revisit how you perform. And the greatest thing is that technology has improved. So in sports, you have the clips, you have YouTube, you have anything that you can utilize to rewatch your talented performances or your non-talented performances. Right? So that is the formation for which I see Jamaica plays, but sometimes they play 4-4-2. That is like the back in the days formation, like say Marina, parking the bus. But if you're gonna park the bus, you have to have players who can hit well on the counter. Demar Gray is good on the counter. Bailey isn't bad on the counter as well, right? So I think that is the way for which Jamaica can play. But you have to have solid players who can really and truly take control of the game from the backline coming forward. And this guy in low, he can play, but to me, he's too friendly as a centre back. Not saying that when you're playing the game, you should not be playing with discipline and respect for the opposition. But I don't like to be friendly when I'm playing any sports at all. I show care, but it is a nail biting competition. Play every game as if it is the last game that you're playing. Play every game as if it is a final. I used to play sports. I played cricket in the past. I played scrimmage football. And I know how it feels to lose. And I know how it feels to win. So I want for the Reggae Boys and the persons in authority to take things more seriously. Because to me, the Reggae Girls, and not to compare them based on levels, but based on what we're seeing with the naked eyes, the Reggae Girls is on a better level than the Reggae Boys. Is it a case because of investment? Or is it a case because of how they organize things? Organizing and having a proper structure in place, even if it is not the best talent, you can get better results. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Not all the time, best names will give the best results. In sports, it's all about team chemistry. So this is Jamaica team based on the Nations League, and Demar Gray is the best. 7.42. Then Russell. When last did you see Russell play football? I think this is a guy who plays in the midfield, like 6 foot plus player. He's a midfield player. I don't think I ever see Kahim Harris plays. Maybe he does, but he should have played because he's on the statistics. Amar Bill, I like what I see in Deshaun Bernard. I think if he gets more game time, he will become the type of defender that can be relied on in terms of ball distribution, in terms of keeping the head on a leveled surface when playing against bigger oppositions. Damian Lowe follows after Lati Bodier and Leon Bailey. So it seems as if I am not looking properly when Lati Bodier is playing then. But whenever I see him play, it is not what I think is best. I prefer Daniel Johnson playing beside a Kevon Lambert. Those 10 players finished the top 10. And it shows that these players are outstanding, to say the least. But they can do better. But the thing is, again, do not have expectations on the Reggae Boys. Do not. Because I think if you have expectations, you will be disappointed. And let me just pause for a bit and consume. As simple as I'm having it, I would say it's breakfast I'm having. That's my tagline when I'm trying to do a little freestyle DJing or anything like that, or even singing a song. But moving from that small joke, do not have any expectations. And that is why the topic is, why should there be no expectations? Or why should there be limited expectations of Jamaica in winning the Nations League? Because one, the structure of the team selection is on a level for which is not consistently convincing. Two, Jamaica doesn't know how to close off games. And three, Jamaica is just Jamaica in terms of football. They know how, they try, but it's like they know how to indirectly disappoint. As I've said before, many persons will be doing the preview right now, but I'm just doing something different. Sharing my views on the Reggae Boys. Because before I even start YouTubing, or before I even know YouTubing, I used to watch Reggae Boys. One of my favorite players who passed away sadly is Luton Shelton. I am yet to see a striker who is on that level of Luton Shelton in the Jamaica shirt. Yes, everyone would say no that Mikel Antonio is better. Yes, but the thing is, how Luton Shelton caresses the ball, how he controls the ball, how he puts the ball in the back of the net. Think about that. When you see Luton Shelton playing, then you can say this guy, his main role is a striker. Because every player on the pitch should have that identical, or a person should be able to identify how you are playing the football based on your formation or based on your style of play or the position for which you're placed in. Internationally, I am a huge fan of Edinson Cavani and I mimic and copy and build my own craft of footballers. You see, when Cavani is making runs, you know that there's something about to happen. That is something that Jamaica needs to take into consideration, thinking about how to get the best out of their players. But sometimes it's all about the quality of the talents. But I just want to feel then that Jamaica is making improvement, that Jamaica is going places. And I do appreciate the fact that persons are watching the live stream, but I'm going to leave it to you now to think about what do you think about Jamaica as a national team, and do you believe that they will win the Nations League? Even though I say, why should there be limited expectations of Jamaica in winning the Nations League? Because I don't have the expectation that they will be doing that. I am tired of the disappointment. I am tired of the inconsistency, not saying that I will not still support the Reggae Boys. It is now my time to go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in. Drop your like, comment, and share the video. Subscribe if you're new, and if you're already an existing subscriber, continue to support. It is now my time to go. Take care and peace out to you. Bye bye.